Back to Kyle, Brian, and Sarah from Mix Mornings.
Welcome back to the 31st Annual Mix 101.5 Radiothon, all to benefit Duke Children's. Let's get some positive momentum in the air as we shout out some of the people who have joined us and donated some big bucks us here in the home stretch of the Radiothon. After 2 days of broadcasting, Laura in Raleigh, shout out to you. Melanie in Raleigh. Jason in Fuquay Varina, Downey in Apex, the peak of good giving, just donated $500. That becomes 1,000 because it's a matching hour. Crystal in Durham, 100 just became 200. Yeah!
Oh, we got babies in studio. You know that's right.
Akenji, that's what I'm talking about. Woo, woo, woo. We're going to get this money, aren't we? Yeah, Wanda and Anger, $50 just became $100. I'm calling that a war cry because we mean business, baby.
That's right, baby.
We're trying to get this money for kids at Duke Children's. Epcon Communities, a big shout out to them for matching, like I said, dollar for dollar, and every single dollar stays local to the kids within those walls.
All right, we've got that voice you heard was Akenji. He's the cutest little guy. And his twin brother, Asanti, and they're here with their parents, John and Janae. Welcome to the Radiothon. You're our last and most special guest because you brought tiny little babies.
Yeah, and Sarah,
Absolutely.
do they still have all their fingers and toes? Because I think Sarah held them for a second. She has a tendency to nibble.
Can't help it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
They're very sweet, though. So, Janae, tell us how you guys became a part of the Duke family.
Absolutely. We had a very crazy journey. I was about 21 weeks pregnant when I started having symptoms that warranted me to go to the hospital and get checked out. We were at Alamance Regional. And I just thought it was a standard checkup. We just went in and I was like, it's going to be nothing. It's fine. I've been having symptoms all through my pregnancy.
Right.
Went in and they checked me out. They said, everything's fine, but we're just going to do one more check. I, got off the table and, they checked me. And then I realized that I was walking around 4 centimeters dilated.
Oh,
holy
wow. 4 is a
shnikes.
lot. I was
At
2
4.
for a while, but not 4.
Yep, 4 centimeters dilated at 21 weeks. And I broke down. Like, all the nurses came in. Everybody was panicking. I called my husband. He about fainted coming through the door trying to get to me because we weren't expecting that. I mean, everything was fine. And then one day you wake up and your whole world is upside down. So, they're hooking me up to all these, getting pumped with magnesium, steroids for the baby's lungs. They're basically giving us the rundown like, hey, these babies are only 21 weeks. These are the odds. We are not equipped to handle these babies right now. And we need to airlift you over to a different hospital that can handle this level of premature babies if they were to come. So I said, okay, what does that mean? And so they got me a helicopter and airlifted me over to Duke Hospital.
And Janae, I just want to take a break real quick to give these numbers. I want to jump right back into that story, and I have a question. 919-684-1015. Those are the numbers. We don't want any lull in action. We want to keep our phone bank volunteers occupied. They're fidgety people, and they don't have fidget spinners. They have phones. So let's keep them occupied. 919-684-1015, or text Duke Kids to 34984. That's Duke Kids to 34984. I have 2 kids of my own. I can't even imagine. And listen, I'm not the one pregnant. You're the one that's dealing with all of this.
Absolutely.
And you're being airlifted from Burlington to Durham. And I can't imagine. Do you remember what was going through your mind as you were making your way to Durham? Maybe just in terms of the hope you had for the quality of care that you would receive and what you wanted the result of this crazy thing to be.
Yeah, so a lot of emotions were going on through my mind. The biggest one was fear. I didn't know what to expect. I'm married to the idea of my baby's coming, my baby's being healthy, my baby's having every opportunity presented to them. And, it was very stressful. But when they told me that I was going to Duke, I was ecstatic because I was like, okay, we're going to the best of the best.
That's right.
We are going to the best of the best, and we're going to be in good hands. So, that alleviated some of my stress. Not all, because we didn't know it was going to happen, but I knew we were off to a good start for sure.
Yeah, you were. And that's why we're raising money today, is to make sure that the helicopter can get you there. When you get there, there'll be people to meet you and everything that you need will be there. 919-684-1015. We're matching dollar for dollar. And I just want to paint the picture of what it looks like in studio right now. It's like you're holding on to two slippery, like, little babies. They have not stopped moving for a second.
They're busy.
Akenji, that's
you
my
guys want to
dude.
take a nap while you're here? We can babysit because I know you're tired.
Yep, I took one earlier in Studio L. It's nice.
They're so cute, but I just can't get over the idea that you were in a helicopter, knowing that these babies were coming super early.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's a lot that's gone on since you've been released with your sons. What are some of the outpatient things that Duke helps you with?
Oh, they've helped us with a lot of outpatient. So currently the babies are in physical therapy. We get physical therapy. We get occupational therapy. They are also in feeding therapy, so they help us with all of our therapies and all of our specialties. Asanti sees an outpatient cardiologist with Duke because he has a piccolo in his heart from his NICU stay.
Okay.
And yeah, they're just holding our hand throughout the way. Like, as soon as we got discharged, we were on a special infant care clinic team. So obviously they are not typical babies. They were not born at term. They were born at 23 weeks. So they have different needs that other babies do not have. So when we were discharged, we had a 24-hour pager that we could reach out to the Duke team with. And if we had any questions, they were there every step of the way.
Well, the peace of mind that must have given you, too, just to have a lifeline for 24 hours a day.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, you would need to. You've got these special babies. They've got care, and I would want that, too. I mean, I wanted that. My baby was normal developing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little head start, so it was
Can
a
you
nice
give us the
little
number
moment.
on that pager? Just, future reference. No. Listen,
sure.
919-684-1015. That's the number to dial. If you're hearing the story, you're touched by it, you can understand exactly what John and Janae have gone through, and you want to make a difference in some of these kids' lives, we would love that. And we're matching dollar for dollar all the way up to 7 o'clock, thanks to Epcon Communities. So call 919-684-1015 or text Duke Kids to 34984. That's Duke Kids to 34984.
As you guys unravel your story, I can't help but think of, when you get pregnant, there's this idea of what it's going to look like. The joy of, okay, I'm going to be pregnant for 9 months, and this is how it's going to look, and these are the things that are going to happen. You envision these moments, and then everything changes when it's 21 weeks. You're airlifted, and then a couple weeks later, they slowed your contractions down, and at 23 weeks, your twin sons were born, and now all of a sudden, they're getting transferred to the Duke Children's Neonatal Care Intensive Care Unit, which is a very high level of care for that moment. So for you, take us to that moment in your life where there's this idea of what it might have looked like to now you're just in it. All of a sudden, in a matter of a couple weeks, this is a life that you are now in unexpectedly. What did it mean to you, Janae, to have that level of care and Duke Children's with you every single step of the way?
It was amazing. I mean, we could not have asked for a better nursing team. I mean, they took care of those babies like they were their babies. And it was a blessing. I mean, it was definitely a life different than we had envisioned. NICU life, shout out to all the NICU moms who have gone through it. I mean, it's definitely a different kind of life. You go in, you washing your hands, you can't touch your babies, you can't hold your babies till, it's safe to do so. But, they were definitely in a level of care. They let you participate as much as, you could with their care time so we could change their diapers and, do all the things. So they, it was definitely different, but we enjoyed it.
I wanted to ask you, Janae, so how long was it from when you gave birth to when you two were able to hold your kids for the first time?
I think it was about a month. Yeah, it was about a month.
A month.
Yep, we
That's
didn't get
a
to
lot.
hold them for a whole month.
I bet that moment was pretty big.
It was huge.
And now here they are, a couple weeks short of their second birthday.
And they are tearing up our studio.
Oh, it is fantastic. And we love every single second of it.
Absolutely. They could come anytime.
So listen, we were not there with you when all this was happening, but knowing what you all experienced, and here we are almost 2 years later, and they're running around the studios. I mean, really, what a beautiful sight to behold that, hey, they're here and they're living life, and they're only going to get better as the weeks pass.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
Well, we're grateful for your time here. And John, you actually are child free at the moment because Brian is entertaining Akenji. So
This kid.
he's a funny little dude. Why don't you put the microphone towards you? How do you feel when you think about Duke and you look back on your experience? What are some things that you want everyone to know about Duke?
Ooh, it's a lot. I mean, they're my savior. When I look at my two boys and they're running around, every day I see it and I think, I grew up in Chapel Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So you usually go and be like, okay, I'm a UNC fan or you a Duke fan. But seeing my boys, what Duke has done to my boys, I wear a different color shirt when I go to work or when I go down. So it's like
That's something. You switched allegiances.
It's just like looking at it, and then that actually opened my eyes, see how people were able to pick what team you support and things like that. I'm like, oh, I'm a this fan, but seeing what they have done and what their family, I mean, they just, I'm like, okay, this is the.
Mm-hmm.
You're part of their family now.
I'm family, so
yeah, you're part of the Duke
I'm
family.
proud to wear the color and just like my wife said earlier, just the nursing. Every time I go home, I know that okay, they're in good hands. Like they take care of that family. All kids, like it's their own.
Yeah.
Like I will able to sleep well when I go home because I know okay, they're doing 100% what they need to do for my babies.
That says a lot. That says a lot that you're able to sleep because you know your babies are taken care of. That's what your money's going to this hour. That is what we're trying to raise money for. We have a little more than an hour left in this entire radiothon, and we want you to understand that that families who have they were born so tiny, and they can you imagine how small these babies were? And it was a very fragile time, and we got to this moment. And they're able to sleep at night because they know were anything to come up, they got backup. They got a whole hospital behind them, and that hospital is Duke Children's, and it runs on donations. And if you've ever had a squirmy little kid in your life that was healthy and never had to deal with it, well, now's the time to say thank you through a donation. 919-684-1015. Text Duke Kids to 34984. It is time. We have an hour left. Procrastinators everywhere. It's your time to shine. 919-684-1015. Thank you so much for coming in today, guys. And thank you for sharing your sweet family with us.
Merry Christmas and happy early second birthday, by the way.
Yes.
You guys enjoy that second birthday. Thank you for the time today.
All right, it's the Mix 101.5 Radiothon for Duke Children's.
Roddy Player here with Queen City Home Store.